Okay, welcome to part 3 of converting ISO to ortho. So this is actually in that same ILM, the single line drawing, and it's the first example on page 10. Okay, so I'm going to go over kind of what this looks like doing all the steps kind of combined. Okay, so one of our first steps, regardless of what view we're doing, we're trying to get from ISO to ortho. So we're going from 1 drawing to 3 drawings. And we have the boxes here for you guys to make it a little bit easier to draw. What I'm going to say about the boxes is I really don't care at first, especially starting out, where we put it on the box, just as long as we get the right drawing. I don't care if it's here or if it's here, as long as it's the right drawing. Okay. So going from ISO to ortho, one of our first steps, regardless if we're doing plan, front, or right. And let's just go ahead and label those just so we're clear. So I'm going to put, I'm going to put plan or top, front, and right. Okay, so I'm going to label these. Okay. One of the first things that we're always going to try and keep doing is putting in our compasses. So I'm going to start with labeling the isometric compass. So there's going to be an isometric compass and an orthographic compass. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, north is always up and to the right, again, unless otherwise stated. So let's complete our compasses. Makes life a lot easier. Then I always put my compass over here for my plan view. Okay. So this compass is going to work just with this. So that's something that we got to remember. Okay. We didn't talk about this in the last video, but there's another thing that we can put if we want. And we're going to go ahead and put this compass over here. And this is going to work for both the front and the right, is we're going to do a compass like this. Okay. And it's going to be left, right, up, and down. Okay, I don't like spending a ton of time using this compass because we don't think about compasses like that out in the field, but it is going to help us to get our front and right drawings when we're going from ISO to ortho. So I do think that will be somewhat helpful for everybody. Okay, let me get a little color here. Okay, so first step, I always like starting with the plan view. Okay, so if I was to draw my stick person in here, okay, we could go like this, looking down. Okay, I don't particularly think it's that helpful with the stick figure on the plan view because, again, all we're going to be doing is following our compass. Okay, so we can start at X or we can start at Y. Okay, I, again, would start at X because it's the furthest, or sorry, it's the closest to where we are if we're looking down on this. Okay, so I'm going to start at X. And what do I see right here? I see an open end of a pipe. So all I'm going to do is draw an open end of a pipe. And if you want to use these lines, that's perfectly fine. I just don't want you to stress out too much about where it goes on the line. I just want you to get the right drawing, especially for now. So we have an open end of a pipe, which is a circle with a dot in the middle. That symbolizes an open end of a pipe. So that's what we see right here. We don't see this. We just see the open end of a pipe. Okay. And now what happens here? What direction is this? Well, when we use our isometric compass, that's running that same plane. So I really want you to focus on it's going from east to west. So if I go over here, I have to draw a line going east to west. Well, I'm going to use my plan view ortho compass. So east to west is this way. So all I'm going to do is follow that like this. Okay, and that takes care of this line. Okay. Last step, what we're going to do is we are going to put in our fitting lines. Okay. Do I see this fitting line? No, because it's blocked out by this. We know that there's a 90 here, so it's 2 fitting lines. And some people want to draw 2 fittings in there, but we can't see that this fitting line because it's blocked out by this. All we see is this guy right here. So we're going to go ahead and put this fitting line in. Okay, and there's basically 2 ways, this or vertical. And obviously the vertical one is the only one that really makes sense. So that would be our plan view. So let's go ahead and do the right side view, or sorry, the front side view. And again, I'll keep saying this. If you find it easier to start on a different view, or if you have any other easier ways of doing it, by all means do it. As long as you get the right answer, that's all we're looking for. Okay, so I'm going to start with the front view. Okay, so I draw my stick person in here. This is the key. If you draw it wrong like this, that'll hurt you. That'll make it a lot more difficult. So make sure this plane right here is the one that you follow. It has to be parallel to that. Okay. Left, right, our little nose to make sure we know which way we're looking. In this case, we can start at A or B. And which one would you pick? Well, really, it doesn't matter in this case, okay? Because all of this is in the same, nothing is further away from you. If we had a line going like this, yes, now this is further away from us. But all of this, if we were to put a northerly on it, would be the same northerly. As soon as we start going like this, it changes. Okay, so that's why I want you to be clear on where to start. And in this case, we're fortunate where either way would be not that difficult to recognize the drawing. But let's just go ahead and I'm going to start here. Okay, so what direction am I going here? Do not say east. Okay, that is going to hurt you eventually, I believe. Okay, so all I want to do is I want to follow my arms here. Okay, it's going left to right. So I come over here on my front drawing, and again, you can use these lines, or I'm not going to, just to stress that I don't want you to get too stressed about this, if that makes any sense. But I have a line going from left to right. Okay, then what happens? It goes up. And if we were following this compass, a line goes up. Okay, so we're just going to go up like this. Okay, one tip that I want to share is, if you can, try and keep your pen touching the paper, because people will, or I've noticed people in the past, they'll go left to right, and then this goes up, but they come over here and draw this going up, okay, which is obviously not what's happening in this. So you just got to watch that. Okay, so I'll just redraw that part. All right, so one of the nice things about a drawing like this is we have nothing that we can't see. There's no pipe going away from us or no pipe coming towards us. We have nothing like that in this case. So should we see any, back of elbows or open ends? No. Okay, we see everything. So we're going to go ahead and put our fitting lines in. And it's very easy on this one. We have a vertical line here and a horizontal line. So this has to be vertical, keeping it parallel to this line. And then this one, this fitting line is going to be parallel to this horizontal line. So it's going to look just like that. Oops. Okay, so that takes care of the front view. So now let's just finish this guy off with... What kind of color should we use? Let's use orange. Why not? Okay, so I'm going to erase my stick people over here. So I start with a stick person. Okay, again, this horizontal line is the big one. Okay, we got to keep it parallel to that line or on the same plane. So I draw it like this. Left, right, direction I'm looking. Okay, next point is always pick a good starting point. If we picked B, it might look a little bit wonky to us seeing the pipe come this way. Okay, but if you can pick B and draw this correctly, that's great. But I think A is a better starting point because it's the closest to us. This goes down and away from us. So all of this pipe we can't see, and it's further away from us than A when we're standing right here. So I'm going to go ahead and start at A again. Okay, so I'm starting right here. And what's happening right here? What's going on with this piece of pipe? If we look over here at our compass, it's going down, right? This pipe is going down. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line going down. It goes down, and then what? Can we see this pipe? No, we can't see this pipe. Okay, there's an elbow and it's going away from us. So we have to put the symbol for back of an elbow. Okay, so a piece of pipe and then the back of a fitting. Okay. Now, the fitting lines. What do we see for fitting lines here? If we're looking here, we see this one. We do not see this one. Okay, so we're only going to have one fitting line. And in this case, the only thing that really makes sense is a horizontal line like this. Okay, So that's one example of going from iso to ortho. Okay, we have our isometric drawing and we've converted it into a plan, a front, and a right. Okay, this would be obviously on the easier side. It's just a piece of pipe, a 90 fitting, and another piece of pipe. And in future videos, we're going to show a more difficult one. So, but this is a good one to look back at if you're having any issues on this.